Hey folks, today I'm out here checking on a couple of hives and trying to get them set up and ready for spring. I've got this one's a single deep, and they've got a medium on top with nothing in it, so that's actually good. It's ready. They've got space, but there's no honeycombs or anything in it. It's just plastic foundation, which is good. It's not drawn combs. I'm not worried about overcrowding. But what I'm doing is I'm making this hive into a double deep, so that I can have more volume of bees, and hopefully once a honey flow starts, I'll be able to really capitalize on that and get a lot of honey off this hive. So the way I'm doing that is I'm checkerboarding my frames. So as you can see, I've already pulled 2 frames out, and I've moved those frames into this second deep. And I've taken, this was the frame I pulled, and then I've taken a frame of, well, just empty frame with a wax foundation starter strip and put it here, and then another frame of fully drawn comb. And I'm just going to stagger them like that. And the reason I want to have a new frame between each of the old frames, or of each of the fully drawn frames, is to give the bees a guide, because even with a full wax starter strip like this, which this isn't full, it's the full width, but it's not the full height, even with a good long starter strip like this, they can still pull it crooked. So if you put it between 2 good square combs, or good straight combs, they're not nearly as likely to pull crooked or to cross comb or make a mess of things. So anyway, it's not real complicated. Like I said, just going through, mixing and matching. So I've pulled 1 or 2 frames out of the bottom box. I'll pick up another piece here. Frame's got a foundation in it. Strip foundation, just drop it in the edge there. So I'll just go through this whole hive and mix and match. Now, something I do want to pay attention to is I want to try to keep it roughly the same. So these first 2 frames here each have just a little bit of comb and mostly honeycomb and pollen. There's no brood on them at all. And I want to keep that to the outside. So what I actually will do is take this one here, it's another, what I would call an outer frame, and I'll actually move it to the outer opposite side. So I'll actually take it, and y'all can take a look at it here, but it's just open comb. There's nothing special. A little bit of pollen in there. You can see where they've had some drone in the past, but it's all been drone comb and or honeycomb. So I'll put it to the outside, and the reason I do this is because I want to keep brood on the inside. Now if I'm going every other, I've actually got to have a frame of open frame on the other side, and that's because I started on this close wall with full comb. So you'll go, comb, foundation, comb, empty, comb, empty, comb, empty. So that means I gotta have an empty on that side and a comb on this side. So I'll end up moving a total of 5 frames up top with brood and or pollen or honey, whatever on them, and I'll leave 5 of the originals down low and then just interspace them. So not real complicated, but what this does is the bees don't like to have gaps in the hive, and so they will very quickly draw out these new frames that I put in. Whereas if I was to put all 5 frames together up here and then just put the empty ones to the outside, they're not as prone to draw those empty ones until they really have to, just because they feel that their nest is secure enough. But by spacing them out like this, they want to fill in those holes as quickly as they can, and when they fill in those holes with comb, then the queen is just that much more likely to lay in those new combs. So like I said, just doing a little bit of checkerboard, and I'm going to go through and do this whole hive, and then I've got this hive here. I'm hoping I can get a super honey off this hive as well. That would really be a nice bonus for today. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Let me know if you got questions, comments, concerns. I always like to hear it, so let me know.